Mmm, 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 mmm. That's some good stuff. Stick around. I'll show you how I made these and give you the macros at the end. Pretty good option while you're on a diet. What's going on, everybody? This is how I made beef fajitas while on a diet. For meat, I got some skirt steak from my local HEB. I already went ahead and trimmed off some loose fat I could get off of it. Then I'm gonna use a recipe from my grandpa. I'm gonna hit it with some fajita seasoning, hit both sides, rub it in really well. And then afterwards, we're gonna put some original marinade on it, and then we'll bag it up and we'll let it sit overnight in the fridge. And then occasionally I'll flip it so that way the marinade seeps into both flanks, and then we'll cook it. What's going on, everybody? We're back. It has been 19 hours that I've let that fajita meat sit in that marinade, and now it's time to cook it. So that meat's absorbed all that marinade and seasoning. I'm gonna do this inside on a skillet, so I set it to high heat, and then we're gonna throw it on there. So we're looking for an internal temp on this fajita meat about 120 to 135, depending on how you like it. Whether that be medium rare like myself or a little bit more well done. It's gonna cook very quick on this skillet. Once I get both flanks done, I'll see y'all again to put these together. Meat is done. It did end up taking way less than 5 minutes, so just be mindful of that. You're just gonna have to periodically flip it and then check it. And here in a minute, I'll get back to making these, but first I gotta deal with this smoke cloud that's in my apartment because of this crappy vent, and I'll be back. See, this is why I usually bake stuff. Gotta sit here for a few minutes, fan out the apartment before I get to eating my food. Okay, I'm back from dealing with that little smoke cloud, and it is time to put these bad boys together. So I've already weighed out 8 ounces of fajita meat. Go ahead and divvy it up between my 2 fajitas. Fajita 1. I'll need to split that up a little bit better. I'm honestly surprised with how much meat you get on each one of these. It's gonna be good, it's gonna be good. So then I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of onion. I promise I only cried a little bit while cutting these up. Then we're gonna hit it with some cilantro. Gotta get some of that lime. Squeeze it real good. And then if you stop here, it's already gonna be good, but I'm taking advantage. I'm gonna get a little bit of guac on it. So get my tablespoon here, divvy out my scoops of guac. Man, that don't just look amazing. So let's spread this out just a little bit. And it's time to dig in. And for the tortilla, I stopped at HEB and I got some of these 0 carb tortillas. Obviously there's other solutions you could use. You could use corn, you could use regular tortillas, you could use lettuce, or you could just eat the meat by itself. Man, those fajitas were good. I highly suggest if you're on a diet, you throw them in your rotation, whether it be on a cheat day or maybe just want to relax the reins a little bit. It's very good. They're pretty easy to make, very straightforward. And if you're not on a diet, I highly suggest you just try them because they're easy to make at the house. Whether you have a grill, whether you have a stovetop, 100%, 10 out of 10, and definitely going to do it again. Let's get into those macros. So I have a screen recording here in my notes where I broke down each individual component of the fajitas. So let's go ahead and start with the skirt steak. I found a few different variants on the internet on when it comes to calorie count, fat, protein for 8 ounces. So I went with the one in the middle because I know I didn't trim all the fat off that I could have. So let's get into it. So for 8 ounces, I got 463 calories, 30 grams of fat, and 46 grams of protein. Then for the seasoning, On the label itself, as you can see, it shows 0 calories. Then the marinade, so this is per 1 tablespoon, is about 5 calories. But as you can see in the bottle, I used about 8.3 servings, so about a third of the container. So I got roughly 41.65 calories out of that. Now onto the tortillas. So per 1 tortilla, you're looking at 80 calories, 4 grams of fat, 5 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbohydrates, and 14 grams of fiber. Obviously, I made 2 fajitas, so our total was 160, 8, 10, 28, and 28. For the guac, it's not something you have to have, it's something I chose to have. For it, on the label was per 2 tablespoons, so that'd be 40 calories, 35 grams of fat, 1 gram of protein, and 2 grams of carbohydrates. So I end up using 2 per fajita. So that was 80 calories, 70 grams of fat, 2 grams of protein, and 4 carbohydrates. For onion, the most I could find was per 100 grams. I wouldn't say I used anywhere near that, which is about half a cup. I don't even say I used about a quarter of a cup, but we're gonna just go with that for the sake of the numbers. So we're looking at about 20 calories, 0.5 grams of fat, 0.55 grams of protein, and 4.65 grams of carbohydrates. So now let's get on to the total. So for the total meal, I had 765 calories, 58.5 grams of protein, 108.5 grams of fat, and forgot their G, 36.7 grams of carbohydrates, and 28 grams of fiber. This is what I ate, but obviously if you wanted to incorporate this meal and you're a little bit more strict on your diet, or you don't really care, or you're not a fan of guac, I do have the numbers without the guac. So without guac, you would have 685 calories. Protein, you'd have 56.5 grams. Fat, you'd have 38.5. That guac adds a lot of fat, apparently. Carbohydrates is 32.7 grams, and fiber is still 28 as you get it from the tortilla. And then I have some numbers right here that you can see as if you just added the 1 serving of guac, so that's 2 tablespoons, say 1 tablespoon per fajita. Your numbers would be in the middle there, so you can make a decision on whether you wanted it or not. Just to show how easy these could fit into my diet currently, I did look online for a calorie calculator, just a little generic one. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up, a screen recording of me walking through it, put in my own information and the results it gave me. So as you can see, age 29, height 5 and 10 inches, 5'11" on a good day. Weight 309.5, I weighed that this morning. And for activity level, I put intense exercise 6 to 7 days a week because I'm in the gym that often right now. Plus my work is very physically demanding sometimes, and just a lot of stairs and movement and activity. And then you can see there's this drop box where you will have multiple selections if you wanted to do it yourself. And as you can see, these are my results. Now, currently, I don't think I'm hitting anywhere near any of these, even the most extreme weight loss. I just wanted to use this as an example. So my total for the fajitas, if I remember correctly, was about 760 calories, 765 calories. And your fats, your proteins, everything like that is a percentage of your total calorie intake. For everyone, that's gonna be a different number. For me, I don't currently have those numbers, so that's something I'm gonna work on getting. And just reviewing my current calorie intake period. As a comparison, I went ahead and looked up what your average adult needs. Obviously, as you can see, it's very dependent on quite a few factors. So for your own situation, you would have to do the math or go online, find your own calculator and figure out what your number is. But it says an average adult is anywhere between 1,600 and 2,500 calories. So even then, this is something you could easily fit in. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. I apologize for the multiple transitions, the breakups, the crazy combination of the stuff I did to get this whole video together. This was a very spontaneous decision. Very first time I've done a long video. So obviously there's definitely room for improvement. And if this is something y'all might be interested in, or I find another recipe down the road, I will definitely plan a little bit better, shoot a little bit better, yada, yada, yada. Just overall better video. But if you did like it, please give it that thumbs up, please subscribe, and please tune in for more.